Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. Let's create something fun. I am using this die as my main piece, the flower pot gift card holder by ScrapDiva Designs, as well as these little flowers here. Side note, I didn't end up using those. I just used the flowers that came with the flower pot. I'm using this terracotta recollections paper from Michaels. I bought this paper because I thought it was really pretty, and I had not one slightest idea of what I was going to use this paper for, except for something to do with my daughter. This is her vibe, her plant dreams kind of thing. So I thought in my head I was going to use this for her. But once this flower pot die came along, I thought this was a perfect way to use it. And I love this broken terracotta pieces, I think it is. At least in my mind, that's what I think it is. It's a really pretty shattered paper. This one right here. It has pieces of gold flecks in it as well. And I thought it was really pretty. So I'm doing this project not knowing basically what I was going to create. I just knew I wanted to use this die. And I'm playing around for a majority of this video. And this took me about 2 days to create, on and off. And what I'm doing is I knew I wanted to do something more 3D versus just a flat project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little box to make a actual flower pot. So cutting the pieces, it has the folding mechanism, folding lines on this die, which is really great. And I was able to kind of play around with it, without measuring, and just cutting a piece of paper, a long strip, to create that box. I did not know exactly, like I said, what I was going to make. It was very play with it. See, I just turned on the camera and see what would happen. Because I didn't want a planned project. I just wanted it to be organically done. Now I'm cutting a piece of that really pretty shattered terracotta pieces as the pot decor on the front. Also, this die comes with a really pretty kind of edge that would go on a terracotta pot. And it's really cute, and it has like a little lace scallopy edge right there that goes on to once it's folded, it goes on the front, so you could see it gives it an extra little dimension. And then the patterned paper is going to be on top of that, but under the edge piece. There we go. That's how it's going to go. Now I used a piece of the flower pot edge. It's for decor. It's kind of nestled to add even more dimension, but I decided to use a piece of that patterned paper that says "You are loved," and another one that says "Just for you." Again, cutting this strip of paper, I'm going ahead and I put some strip of glue tape and I didn't end up liking it. I ripped that off, and that is why I used a too thick of a strip, and I came back and I used a thinner piece. Cutting that long strip, that's going to be the box, and it was a perfect way to make it three-dimensional. Again, playing around, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, and I think next time I will make this a little bit sturdier. That pattern paper isn't that sturdy, but for this it was working pretty well. I want to use maybe chipboard next time to create that box piece. Anyways, I'm adding the pattern paper on the front of this little cute box. It is perfect. The measurement of the width of the box is actually 1.5 inches all the way around. And it's a great way to add that piece of, what is it? The die cut comes with an inner piece for the edge of the flower pot. That was a perfect measurement for the side of the flower pot as well. So that's what I'm cutting and decorating the inside of that side pot. Adding some foam strips to give it a pop and dimension. That's what I'm doing there, and then adding in these cute little strips with wording, sentiments, and that's pretty much so far what I've got. After a while, I kind of decided, well, I want to put flowers in this, and let's make this into a scrapbook mini album to just house cute little pictures. And using what would be the gift card holder piece, I cut out patterned paper, and it also has a die inside of that. All the ScrapDiva Design dies are beautiful because they have layers. That is one of the biggest things I've noticed. It has layers for you to create so many different ways. So both of these rectangles are from the die cut piece. I added my own little reinforcements in gold because this collection does have pops of gold in it, and I wanted to bring that in. Now I'm putting in this little ring, which I later removed because it wasn't allowing my pages to flow and turn nicely. Other than that, I put this on the side because now I'm going to play with the flowers with all the scraps of the papers that I had from the collection that I used. This is, look at how cute this is. These are all the flowers that come into with that die set, with some sequins in there and some little, I forgot what those are called, little stems that go in the middle. I don't want to say it wrong. That is probably my favorite piece, the flowers. And I created these little sticks with these flowers. Let's create one here. These are kebab skewers. I cut them in half, and I wrapped them with this green floral tape that I picked up at the dollar store, and just pulling it and twirling it around to create that stem look. And the green was perfect color to the paper collection. And then after I did that, I punched out some 1 inch and 1/2 inch circles, and probably smaller than no, I think it was 1/2 inch. Then with my hot glue gun, I glued the stick onto the circle, and before the glue would set, I added in those little green leaves and foliage into the circle, and I'm going to glue in my flower on top of that little circle, which is great because it has reinforcement in the back. I did have to bend the paper, however, just a bit so that it would not show, and it was holding the flowers. These flowers are so pretty. I really like that this die comes with 3 different kinds of flowers and 2 different types of greenery. And if you get any flower dies to build up your stash, I would suggest you get the ScrapDiva flower dies because they're so versatile, and depending on the way you bend them, you can make dozens of different kinds of flowers. I will have a link in the description below so you can get some of those dies for flowers. Just the flowers alone are amazing. If you want to play with something, that would be the ones that you can start off your stash. There will be a link, and type in the code Veronica so you can get a discount on that. Anyways, let's go back. I'm going to hot glue a piece of this floral foam, again from the dollar store. I'm going to glue it in towards the back of the flower pot, and I could hear the crackling in it while the hot glue was touching it. So quickly I put that in before it dried, and this gave it also a very sturdy piece. And I'm going to stick these flowers inside of the foam. I'm going to mess around with it a little bit and try to figure out what I want. This actually would be a really great idea, now that I'm doing this voiceover, for pens, and kind of add in your pens instead of the skewers, the kebab skewers. You can make them add up for pens and then gift this to a teacher. Oh my gosh, that's such a great idea. If anybody does that, please tag me. That would be great. And I think I might just do that for another project. Figuring out where I want my placement, I did glue the foliage, the greenery, in different directions because I know that I want my little book to go in the front and I want it to be pretty much showing the flowers but not all the way down where the book is going to cover it. This was a lot of fun, just poking the styrofoam. I didn't put the sound in because it might have hurt someone's ears, but it was so fun. Now going into the little mini scrapbook part of this, I cut pieces and trimmed down others. I'm using all the pieces from what would be the cut aparts and the extras from these little tags right here. And I'm going to make quickly all these pages into decorated tags, both front and back side of each. I've gone ahead and also done a couple of die cutting from different dies that I have in my stash. And this is a great way to use up a lot of those scraps and little pieces. I came in also using the Ladybug heart tag to get some hearts in there. And I will be bringing in a couple of different dies also from ScrapDiva. One of them being, the first one being this Ladybug heart tag. So cute. I have some plants that are already had in my stash from a previous project. I just added in some of these little colors into them. Putting them on was so cute because I was able to use plants, and I'm glad that I have those kinds of little scraps laying around to add to projects like this. So this is the very first tag, the front and the back. I thought they were cute. I wanted to add in plants to every other tag. These are the pull apart cards. I just cut around those half circles and adding in foam in between those to add dimension and a little bit height. I didn't want to make it super thick because I was putting it into that flower pot. And if you remember, there's a piece of styrofoam that will be blocking that. Also using the heart bow, I'm just using the little tails of that die from one of the bows to make a fun, kind of like a prize ribbon, and adding that into the cute little tag. Again, a great way to use your tags, your dies in a different way. It like I did with those little bow tails. Using scraps, folding them back and forth to make kind of a ribbon type of fold. Using lots of punched out circles, cutting them in half. Another die from my stash. I thought this kind of gave that gold vibe. Another way to add into your stash is by adding detail to those dies that you already have. And that's what I did on this leaf. And then finally, I think this is the last tag. Last tag. Adding little strips and pieces. Again, I can't get enough of this. I'm using the bow from the Baby Girl Mini because this bow is a little different than the other one, and it adds a really cute touch because it looks like you could see the inside of the bow with that half little ribbon there. And adding that in, I think I would change the color of that I used for this tag. It was a lot of orangey, but it makes do. Half of a circle, scallop circle there, adding in the plant, some wording, getting almost towards the last tag. And there we go, so pretty. I also went over and I did some coloring on that plant and some white shading with my gel pen. This is the last one, and I wanted this little strip to go all the way up, so I did remove that reinforcer and then put it back on right after I stuck that. Another folded strip of paper to look like ribbon. Great way to add dimension. The other half of that gold little lace piece right there. And I was going to put this sun, but it didn't work out. I just turned it around, used the white piece, another plant, another word, and that is pretty much it for this tag. Just adding in a leaf that I had laying around, and we're good. Putting that ring on, and adding some ribbons and threads that match the colors. And that's pretty much done for this tag, and it fits in perfectly. Using again Ladybug heart die to create this heart tag. And originally it's supposed to be a ladybug, but I was able to just make it into a cute tag. And I'm also bringing in another die, the lip sentiments, that says flawless, and I will be die cutting that, putting it over the heart and making it gold so that the gold pieces pop up. Isn't that heart tag super cute? Those 3 pieces fit in perfectly and they're so cute. Then just adding in this flawless word right here with the gold word and the green to make it pop a little bit. So pretty. I was really excited. By the time I figured out what it was going to look like, I got into a groove. I got into the crafting of it. It was fun. Adding some foam to make that a little bit popping up, and then coming in with some thread, and I threaded it the first time the wrong way and I had to pull it back out and then do it again. Trying to figure out where I want this bow to show, or if I just wanted it to hang. Messing around with this a little bit, but once I got the bow done nicely, I glued that on, adding some cute little foam on the back to make it pop up even more, and we are done. Isn't this pretty? This is going to be so perfect for a gift. It's time consuming, but it came out beautiful. This would look really pretty also in different colors, maybe lavenders and pinks, soft colors. I really enjoy this. I think I'll put this in my daughter's room, and so she could put in little pictures and from her vacation that she's at right now. Isn't that pretty? So much detail, dimension, layering in this one project. I had so much fun. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to check out ScrapDiva Designs. Until then, bye!